Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight and for this beautiful celebration of water. I believe there is a third way to address the most pressing environmental challenges. It's inspiration, commitment, and action. My name is Anne-Therese Gennari. I am an author and the founder of The Climate Optimist, and asked the United Nations to convene a much-needed conference on water. Tonight's unveiling of an exceptional art installation represents optimism and sustainable action at its best. Before inviting on stage the artists and some of the co-creations of this beautiful piece, the co-creators of Be the Drop That Shapes the Wave, which, by the way, I just love that name. I think it's so brilliant. I would like to introduce you to three leaders to make change happen. First, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Sergio Campos, Chief of the Water and Sanitation Division of the Inter-American Development Bank.
Well, good evening, everybody. How long do I have to speak?
2 minutes, maybe.
2 minutes. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for coming. It's great to be here in New York on a water conference. It is incredible that it's taken 46 years for have an international conference on water. It's taken 26 COPs in which water is not part of the agenda. And let's hope that as a result of this important gathering, water gets more relevance. There's an international consensus on the fact that if we don't achieve SDG 6, which is water and sanitation for all, it's going to be very difficult to make important progress in health and education, poverty reduction, gender inequality, and mitigate the effects of climate change. So this is really important, and we're very happy that this conference is taking place and that we're celebrating this partnership that we have. And we talk about SDG 6, water and sanitation for all, and we think about who doesn't have water. The ones that don't have water in Latin America today haven't had water for 500 years probably, and it's the people that live in the rural areas and the indigenous populations in particular. How to provide access to the rural sector, it's been a challenge that has been taking too long to be addressed. I always say that in the rural sector, there are no lessons learned. There are lessons that we have not learned, and it's time that we start doing the process of understanding what didn't work. And we're very proud of this project that we have and that you all are part of this, which is the Lazos project, the One Drop support, the FEMSA support, the Coca-Cola Foundation support, that builds also on important support that the government of Spain has given us, the government of Switzerland has given us, over the years the government of Japan has given us. And after a lot of thinking and crafting, One Drop came with a very interesting idea. Why don't we try behavioral arts through the behavioral change through the social arts to make sure that projects are sustainable, that kids wash their hands, that the infrastructure that we build are used. And at the beginning, it seemed a crazy idea. It takes longer. It's harder because you really need to go into the communities, understand their particularities, their idiosyncrasy, their costumes, their culture. But once you do that, and once you identify the different aspects that can trigger behavioral change, and you implement a methodology that it's fun, that it's active, that it's good, then change is amplified and then it's sustained. So it's my pleasure to be here to celebrate this achievement, to be able that after today start scaling up this process, this project, and to share the stage with our colleagues from One Drop, FEMSA Foundation, Coca-Cola Foundation, and the governments, as I mentioned, of Spain, of the government of Switzerland, and the government of Japan, that have always been important supporters of access to the rural sector. So thank you very much on behalf of the Inter-American Development Bank, and I wish you all are having a wonderful water action agenda week. And
so much, Sergio. Thank you so much. And as you mentioned, this art installation we are celebrating tonight is the result from a process developed by the One Drop Foundation in Montreal. And it is called Social Art for Behavioral Change. And to talk more about it, we would like to introduce you to Enenik Duran from One Drop Foundation. Yeah.
Good evening, and thank you for being here. I wrote a speech, but I'm not going to use it. It's my pleasure to be here today on behalf of the One Drop Foundation. As Sergio mentioned, we've been partnering together for the last 6 years with the IDB, with the FEMSA Foundation, with the Coca-Cola Foundation, and we are pleased to be at the UN 2023 Water Conference. It's a huge moment for us as a community, for us as humanity. Today, what I'm going to talk a little bit about, I was asked to talk about the process of how we achieved this collaborative art installation. So at One Drop, we created a methodology called Social Art for Behavior Change. And this methodology has proven to be very effective in changing behaviors in WASH projects. We just closed the first phase of Lazos de Agua with great results. We have been able to bring communities from not washing their hands to washing their hands in a constant way. We also have been able to make them pay the water tariff, which is incredibly important for sustainability. And today, what I'm going to talk to you about is what we have done in more than 400 communities in Latin America. We have been using social arts to trigger behavior change. And we do this in a collaborative and co-creative, through collaborative and co-creative processes, where we engage with individuals, where we engage with communities, and we put them at the center of the projects. It's them that decide what needs to be done and what behaviors needs to be targeted in their communities. So what the people that has been co-creating this art piece has experienced in the past 2 months, where we engage with more than 100 stakeholders from Latin America, and also from New Yorkers that I'm very happy to see today here. They have experienced what our communities have been experiencing in Latin America. They have been able to co-create, to think about it, to reflect about the water problem and how they can make how they can be part of the solution, how they can be the drop that shapes the wave, right? So they have been experiencing this, and today we are very happy because the process concluded, and this couldn't have been possible with the support of Inma Barrero, who has been leading whose task was not simple, right? She had to listen to more than 100 people, bring their thoughts together on what does this mean, to bring, to be the drop that shapes the wave, and she had put together this beautiful art piece. So Inma, congratulations for this achievement, and remember, this was co-created, right? Inma was the kind of the brain, like the hands and all that, but this was co-created through a process that engaged more than 100 people in Latin America, from governments, youth, community leaders, government leaders as well participated in the process, and of course, our friends from New York. So it's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you for being here tonight. I see a lot of people, and this is great in such in an important event where competition is furious for attracting people. So I'm really happy that you all are here for this unveiling ceremony. Thank you very much.
Well, yes, art truly is a tool for mass empowerment, social change, and action. And I think we can all see that in the room tonight. And in that, we also need extraordinary people. And our next speaker is one of the most extraordinary persons I've had the honor to meet very recently, and full disclosure, I just interviewed her for The Climate Optimist. She is the executive director of FEMSA Foundation in Monterrey, Mexico. She is above all a visionary who acts on improving our lives. Welcome, Lorena Guillet-Lariz.
Thank you, Ana Teresa and Therese. I'm super excited to be here tonight. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone. And to start, I would just like to invite you to turn around to see who is in front of you, beside you, behind you. And each person is a mover and shaker from different sectors, different institutions, different ages, different backgrounds, but we are all pursuing a common purpose. This is what we are celebrating tonight. We are celebrating that we are purpose-driven people that is collaborating and that is sharing a collective goal to move forward together. So thank you so much for being here. This collective goal is magnificent, yet complex. It falls on us to prevail in providing universal access under the principles of fairness, equity, solidarity, and social justice to this common good, water. Our collective goal is to make everyone embrace the challenge of providing safe access to water. Sounds easy, right? But it is not. We all know that. Considering that in our societies, we take for granted water, this sacred resource. Considering that it's usually not a problem until something goes wrong. And that we need still to understand how water is part of a system, a same system that we are part of. And to achieve that, collective thinking is key. It is not easy to foster collective thinking either, and even less to channel it into a masterpiece of art. Therefore, I want to thank you, the more than 100 co-creators in this inclusive, fun, and creative project. They added their voices to the creation of this masterpiece, which will travel across borders to inspire and mobilize people to embrace the cause of water. I especially want to start thanking all the young co-creators who are here with us today, to their parents and their teachers who supported them. I also want to thank the dozens of people who connected across 9 virtual sessions, some of whom are also here today. Thank you for being part of this project, for sharing your thoughts, dreams, and your unique perspective and connections to water. At the FEMSA Foundation, we have engaged the arts as a catalyst for dialogue. Arts and culture can drive societal change for the enrichment of all, and are essential for nurturing social cohesion and prosperity in our communities. It is with this conviction that we decided 6 years ago to co-create the Lazos de Agua program with our partners. Lazos de Agua is a high-impact, sustainable, and collaborative project that applies, as just Ernenek shared with us, and also Sergio, a methodology called social art for behavioral change that has demonstrated its ability to create systemic change and sustainable solutions to exponentially increase access to safe drinking water and sanitation. I am very happy to announce that as a result of seeing real change and progress with more than 235,000 beneficiaries in Lazos de Agua, Fundación FEMSA, One Drop Foundation, and the Interamericano Development Bank, we are now reinforcing our commitment to speed up the pace in which we are contributing to SDG 6 and are planning to reach 1 million people by 2030 in Latin America. To give them sustainable access to this beautiful and so needed resource. It is an ambitious goal, but it is urgent in the world and indeed in our region, Latin America, and we want to invite all of you from your institutions, from every corner of the world to join us in this effort. We are committed to providing succession
a avanzar en el
and with the
camino
right
correcto,
speed.
a la velocidad
Now,
correcta.
I want to
Ahora,
invite
quiero
our
invitar a
co-conveners to join me on the stage to help me send a message
al escenario
from the
para ayudarme a
Americas to the
transmitirles el
world.
mensaje desde las Américas al mundo entero.
So
A ver,
here,
Aquí
something
tenemos
will appear with my hand.
algo que va a aparecer en
Something
mi
will
mano,
appear.
algo va a aparecer, algo.
So I want to invite Sergio
Quiero
Campos
invitar a
from the
Sergio
Interamerican
Campos,
Development
el
Bank to
BID,
join me.
aquí al escenario.
Also, Ernenek, dear friend. too.
Ernenek, querido amigo, que me acompaña aquí de Wandrop.
Also, Lourdes Álvarez
También
from the
Lourdes
Estocolm
Álvarez
International Water
del
Institute.
Instituto Internacional del Agua
And
de
also,
Estocolmo.
there is
Sí.
Jorge Jan
También
from
Jorge
Wabi, who
Jan
was on his way.
de
Yes,
Wabi,
Jorge,
que viene en
welcome, join
camino.
us.
Sí, Jorge, bienvenido.
So,
Únete aquí a nosotros.
We are committed to each
Estamos
of us
comprometidos entre
to invite you,
nosotros
each of you,
y para
to be this drop
invitarlos
that is
a
shaping the
ustedes
way.
a que sean
On
la
behalf-
gota que le dé forma a la ola.
We are now together.
Ahora
moving to the
estamos
most
juntos
exciting moment of
pasando
the
al
night,
momento más entusiasmante de la noche,
which is
que
what we are all
es
waiting for.
de
So,
lo que
on
todos
behalf
estábamos
of all our
esperando.
organizations, I want to deeply,
A nombre de
deeply
todas nuestras
thank
organizaciones,
the artist
quisiera
Inma
agradecer
Barrero
muy,
for
muy
believing
profundamente
in
al
us
artista Inma
and
Barrero
making
por
our
creer en
collective goal
nosotros y
her
hacer
goal
que
true, so that we
nuestro
can move forward
objetivo
together.
colectivo sea
Thank you, Inma, for engaging with
su
water in
objetivo.
the
Gracias,
way that
Inma,
you
por
could only
participar
do
con
it,
el agua en la
for
forma
being
que
the
solamente
creative
tú lo
thinker
puedes
and
hacer,
doer
por ser la
and doer
pensadora
who took
creativa
us on a
y
wonderful
la
participatory
hacedora que nos
journey
llevó
to
a una
reimagine
jornada
our relationship with
participativa
water,
para
helping us see familiar
restablecer
things
nuestra
from new
relación con el
perspectives,
agua,
including
ayudándonos
a way
a
of
ver las
all
cosas desde
possibilities,
nuevas
and for
perspectivas y
providing
con nuevas
once
posibilidades,
again
y por
the
brindar
power
una
of art
vez
as a
más
catalyst
el
for
poder
dialogue
del
and
arte
change.
como
So, dear Inma,
catalizador para el
and young
diálogo y el cambio.
I invite you
Inma
all
y jóvenes
to join me
participantes,
and
les
join us
invito
up
a
here on
unirse
stage
y a
to
unirse
present the art
a mí y a
installation,
nosotros
and
aquí
invite
para
you
que
all-
presenten
and
la
I invite you all to
instalación de arte
welcome her,
e invito
and
a
then
todos
with a
a
big
darle la
applause. Thank you so
bienvenida
much.
a ella y a sus participantes con un fuerte aplauso. Bravo.
So welcome.
Bienvenidos.
The stage is all yours, dear.
El estrado
Okay.
es tuyo, todo tuyo.
I
Inma.
have the most fun
Bien.
part of the evening.
Tengo
I
la
think,
parte más
and is to be
divertida de la
here
noche y es estar
with
aquí
children.
con niños.
These, they were big helpers. In fact, I
Ellos
could
me
not get
ayudaron
them to
muchísimo.
stop
De hecho,
making drops of
no
water.
podía
If we
yo
had a schedule and they
pararlos.
kept going
Ellos
and going and
querían
going.
seguir produciendo
I
estas
have some
gotas de agua.
questions,
Yo
and I
quería
don't
que
know who wants
se
to answer.
detuvieran, pero ellos querían
What made
seguir.
you
A
be
ver,
part
respóndeme.
of this project?
¿Qué te hizo
Why
o qué te
you wanted
llevó a
to be
ser
part of
parte
this
de este
project?
proyecto? ¿Por qué querías ser parte de este proyecto? ¿Quién quiere
Well, when we
contestar?
first learned
Bueno,
about
cuando
this
primero
project
nos
in
enteramos
Spanish
acerca
class,
de
we
este
were actually
proyecto en la
learning
clase de
about
español,
how a
estábamos
lot of people
aprendiendo
in
acerca de
Latin
cómo
America
mucha
don't have
gente en
access
América
to water,
Latina no
and
tiene acceso
coming
al agua
from,
y
a privileged family,
viniendo de
private
una
school,
familia
I think
privilegiada
that
y
we
yendo
don't,
a una escuela
understand how much
privada,
a privilege water is, and how it is
no
an essential part of life
entendíamos
that a lot of
qué
people
tanto
don't have
privilegio
access
es
to,
tener agua
and
y
I
tener
feel like I
acceso al
wanted to just
agua.
learn more
Y quería
about what I could
aprender
do to
más
help
acerca de lo
and
que
just
puedo
expand
hacer
my
para
knowledge.
ayudar y expandir mi conocimiento al
Wow.
respecto. ¡Wow!
Okay, another question.
Bien,
What was
otra
the part
pregunta.
that you
¿Cuál
liked the
fue
most
la parte que más te
about the
gustó
whole involvement with
sobre
this project?
toda tu participación activa en este
We
proyecto?
really loved learning everything, but the way we learned
Realmente
wasn't
nos
the way we
encantó
usually do
aprender
at school,
todo,
which is
pero
just
no
listening
aprendimos
and
de la
sitting in
forma
our
como
seats. It
normalmente
was in a
aprendemos en la
creative way
escuela,
and
sentados
some
y
way that we
escuchando.
were
Fue de
really,
una
like,
manera creativa
excited
en la
and
que
we could
realmente
really
nos
put a lot of
entusiasmamos
creative
mucho
thought
y
into it.
pudimos poner nuestras ideas creativas e incorporarlas en este proyecto.
Very smart children.
Niños muy
Okay.
inteligentes.
Do you guys think that art
Muchachos,
has the power
¿ustedes
to
creen que el arte tiene el poder de
Send a
comunicar,
message, something
de enviar
bigger
un
than
mensaje, algo más grande que la pieza
answer
misma?
this?
¿Quién puede responder esto? A ver, Seri, Opa. Gracias. Para responder a tu pregunta, creo que definitivamente el arte tiene el poder de cambiar la forma como alguien ve el mundo. Tiene una gran influencia en las personas y creo que eso es algo maravilloso sobre este proyecto, que puede ayudar a tener influencia en las personas para que trabajen para una mejor causa por el planeta, y la parte interactiva es, bueno, la parte creativa de esta pieza de arte, y para mí eso fue maravilloso. Muy impresionante. Bueno, me voy a bajar aquí del estrado para hacer la pregunta. Bien, hablamos acerca de esto cuando estábamos trabajando juntos, pero ¿qué acción incluirán ahora en su vida para cambiar la relación con el agua, para mejorar, para conservar, pensar en las comunidades que no tienen acceso al agua? ¿Qué van a hacer a partir de este momento? ¿Alguien? ¿Sí? ¿Qué vas a hacer? Bueno, para reducir nuestro consumo de agua, podemos empezar dando pequeños pasos, reduciendo la cantidad de agua que utilizamos, tomar duchas más breves, dejar de cepillarnos los dientes por tanto tiempo y apagar o cerrar el grifo mientras nos lavamos los dientes, no comprar en tiendas de moda rápida porque consumen demasiada agua. Bien, si pudiera agregar a su punto, algo que consume mucha agua es la producción de alimentos, y muchas veces alimentos basados en carnes, hamburguesas que encontramos en McDonald's o en cualquier otra cadena de comida rápida, consumen muchísima agua para poderlos producir. Y una forma muy sencilla en la que podemos reducir nuestro consumo de agua es comer y producir menos carne. Son cosas muy sencillas. Comer comida vegetariana con más frecuencia y reducir el consumo de carne, y esto puede marcar una gran diferencia. Muy impresionante lo que dicen estos niños, porque además de tener grandes ideas, son muy buenos en elaborar estas gotas de barro. A ver, aquí. Pasen por aquí. Tienen dos retos esta noche. Tienen que mantener la escultura en movimiento. Generalmente uno no puede tocar las esculturas hechas de barro. Esta noche pueden tocar todo lo que quieran y vamos a formar una gran ola. Esta será la ola del cambio. Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí esta noche. Aparentemente, antes de hacer eso, vamos a ver un video. No. Primero la ola y luego vemos el video. A ver, niños. A ver. Ustedes van primero. Vamos. No tengan miedo. Algunas de estas pelotitas de barro, ustedes mismos las hicieron. Empezamos a pensar que vamos a producir unas 200 piezas de gotas de cerámica y acabamos creando y fabricando unas 8,000. Este fue un ejercicio muy meditativo, pensando sobre el agua, y creo que ahora vamos a ver el video. Bueno, muchas gracias, muchachos. Realmente son maravillosos. Sí. Creo que todos quieren ir a tocar el agua, tendrán la oportunidad. Primero quiero mostrarles un video para que vean la co-creación de este proyecto. Una de cada 4 personas no tiene acceso al agua segura y casi la mitad de la población mundial no puede manejar el saneamiento. El reloj sigue funcionando.
Can social art help us find solutions? We know that it can. After 6 years of using social art in the Lazos de Agua program across Latin America, we have proven the power of art. On the occasion of the UN 2023 Water Conference, we convened more than 100 people to co-create a special artwork dedicated to the water challenge, the drop that shapes the wave. With the experience of One Drop Foundation and its social art for behavior change approach, and the talent and sensitivity of Inma Borrero, whose creativity comes from a deep relationship with the materials she uses and her connection with nature, it was possible to liven this artistic installation up.
It's one drop at a time to create a wave. When it's one individual one, it's very small. When you put hundreds of drops together, we create a whole wave.
Cuando ponemos cientos de gotas juntas, formamos una ola y esto cambia las cosas. Los niños, los jóvenes, los líderes comunitarios y los funcionarios de comunidades, los líderes de organizaciones públicas y privadas, compañías y artistas de más de 15 países fueron movilizados para participar en sesiones virtuales y en persona para crear esta obra. Esto nos conecta con emociones, ideas, historias de vida, ideas constructivas y soluciones de todos los co-creadores sobre el agua, y tiene como intención que se involucren los individuos y las comunidades para generar acción positiva y cambios positivos. Ser la gota que forma la ola es imperativo para reconocernos como agentes de cambio en América Latina y en todo el mundo. Ahora tomemos el reto de crear un futuro con agua para todos. ¿Cómo puedes tú contribuir a un mundo con seguridad hídrica? El agua es una necesidad para las plantas. El agua es necesaria para los animales. Sé la gota que forma la ola.
Okay, I want to see hands. Who
A
in this
ver,
room feels
levanten la
inspired and
mano.
optimistic?
¿Quién aquí se siente inspirado y optimista?
Oh, okay. I just feel the energy in this
Sí,
room. I just want to have a
siento la
little
energía.
check in here.
Solamente quería
This
yo
is what happens
verificar.
when a
Esto
great
es lo que
artist
ocurre
comes together
cuando
and
una gran
co-creates with
artista
children and
co-crea
people
con
from around the world.
niños y
It
gente
is
de
so
todo el
beautiful,
mundo.
and I want us
Es tan
all to just
hermoso y
think
quiero
about
que todos
what that really
pensemos
means.
en lo que eso
Be the
realmente
drop, a
significa.
tiny, tiny,
Sé
tiny
la
drop
gota,
that shapes
una
the wave.
gota
It means that the
pequeñísima que
times we are
forma
living
la
through right
ola. Es
now
decir, que los tiempos que estamos
essential.
viviendo
We are
actualmente
living through
son
history. We are
fundamentales.
co-creating